Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Hi, welcome to TFYLP, episode 536. We are live tonight. It is, July 13th, I think?
Sounds about right.
Like that.
Thursday the 13th.
It's Thursday. So we are a week away
from Thursday the 20th.
Yes. So there you go. Anyway, I'm Lucas. I'm joined tonight by Peter.
Fervidestron.
And Rob.
Hi.
And Anna.
Hello.
And Phil.
Hello.
What is that, Phil?
Chode. Or like 3/5 of Chode. It's a Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure that I need 2 more parts for. He's a Starjammer. He's friends with Cyclops' dad.
Totally know what all of those words meant.
Yeah.
I think I did.
So for your Build-A-Figures, do you normally try to source them from wherever, or do you actually buy the whole wave to complete the figure?
Usually we'll source at least a few parts from eBay or local toy shops.
Makes sense.
You know, I just opened up a guy to get the torso that I was like, oh, Kid Omega, he'll be kind of cool. And I'm like, I'm very disappointed in him. So, I don't know. I'll probably be selling him fast. But then when I wasn't going to get, but I found on clearance was Emma Frost, White Queen, and she's great. So, yeah, glad I got her.
Did you open up a gal to get her, or just open up the guy?
What now?
Get all up in those guts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I missed something there, and I'll just let everyone carry on.
Me and Peter got it, and that's all that matters.
That's fine. Like I said, I'll just let everyone carry on.
I can send you the head from Dr. Fartbot, or whatever his name is, that came with Twitch.
I'm so behind on comics. I don't even know Dr. Fartbot.
Well,
when he reaches full power, is he
He's
Dr.
from
Shark?
Earthspark.
Yeah, he's Earthspark. But it's mainline, so Rob's even just as behind on that.
Wait, there's
True that.
figures in mainline?
Yeah. The Earthrise.
I mean, okay,
I'm sorry,
it's
Earthspark.
mainline Earthspark.
I know we had that
Earthspark,
one
yeah, sorry.
McAdams thingy a while back.
Right.
Yeah.
They've done
that
another
was the
one.
original one, but did they have a new one?
Yeah, they've done another one. Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
there's
Okay.
a new one. I don't think all those parts are out yet. I think they're...
No, we got to wait for, we have to wait for Nightshade and Grimlock.
Grimlock, yeah.
Good old not Dr. Arkeville Mandroid.
Man,
Well, I heard that the last part is actually coming with the Robosin Grimlock. So
That wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me.
That would
I
be
don't
amazing.
care.
Oh, man,
'cause
could
the
you
Mandroid
imagine?
toy sucks, and my dog ate part of them.
I wish that would happen.
Grimlock.
That it would come out with Robosin. Just the wailing and gnashing of teeth would be worth it.
Can you imagine, Roboson's a little too ridiculous, but could you imagine a Build-A-Figure with Masterpiece? That would just be such a, amusing thing to do.
It'd be all
And abusing.
a
It
bunch of
would be
shitty
abuse stuff.
repaints that no one wanted. Not even mainline characters.
Oh, yeah, it would just be the Diaclone figures, that kind of stuff that a lot of people would go,
They're gonna
oh,
pass
it's not
up.
a main character. But then the Build-A character is somewhat important. So,
The
Well,
worst
it'd be
Build-A-Figure...
Oh, sorry.
No, the worst Build-A-Figure I've ever seen is the Green Lantern movie Parallax. It was a terrible looking character design. It was an awful toy, and that line, I think you had to get 10 figures to get all the parts, and that line came out so sporadically and in weird waves, and then it got clearanced at the end, so you like maybe found it at Ross, and like the main part, the head was its own separate figure, and it just was like anyone who was like, I'm gonna build this thing was in for a very painful experience.
That sounds rough.
Yeah, and it's
I was
just a
gonna
terrible
say-
looking toy.
I was going to say McAdam was pretty disappointing, but that sounds way worse.
Yeah, I heard, like, I thought having a McAdam would be cool, and then I was like, I'm not buying all those figures. And then people are like, it's neat that it exists, but it sucks. And so I was just like, I'll live.
Yeah, it's little. That's like the weirdest thing about it. Like, you need like Legends Plus figures to go with it, because he's smaller than any of the Cyberverse Deluxes that you got him with, but in the cartoon he's huge. He's a really big guy, so
Fuck your scale.
yeah, you can't play it.
Well, he's not small. He's just in the background. He's far
he's
away.
in the background. The Cyberverse and Earthspark Deluxes are always going to be very frustrating with their scale because there isn't any.
Well,
Yeah,
I
McAdams
was
is
gonna
like bulkhead size.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that it'd be kind of like the Thrilling 30, years and years ago, where I was like, oh, this would be kind of fun to like collect all the 30 figures from this Thrilling 30 line that they're putting out, and then you're like I don't even know, did they actually release 30 separate figures that had a number on it, Peter? Or
I feel like it's more than that. I know TF Wiki has a list.
TF Wiki has the list. There were some numbers that were doubled, and one of the numbers was missed entirely.
Okay, that's what that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
The
sounds
marketing
right.
team changed midstream.
It was shoddy.
Yeah. And then some of them were like only available in Singapore or Hong Kong or something ridiculous, and it was just like, what? No, farts.
Yeah. Silly me back at the time was like, oh, like obviously Hasbro put some thought into this. Like, they wouldn't just sporadically like throw the numbers on random boxes and not actually complete this. Like, they have some thought into it. But, no.
So now you're 10 years more jaded.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So
Isn't that
now
great
I'm just
for
like
us?
giving my McAdam parts to you, Anna. So
You did. You helped me complete McAdam. You helped me get to that disappointment I got from finishing him. No, actually, honestly, I have him behind a bar on one of my shelves, and it works. And it's kind of cool. I can have other figures go to his bar. And, it's only Legends figures ever go because they have to be smaller than him, but it's okay. It's fun. Kicker was there for a long time for some reason. Figure that one out.
now, do you have the Zeta bar set up?
Yes,
For him?
I
Okay.
do, but I actually bought a doll bar that was just it's like a little more classic bar looking with like a wood top. I don't know. I like them on that one.
Fancy.
Yeah. I have displays. I just never show them because I never clean them up. They're always like half finished.
Yeah, you can see out here, like, there's Chrome Dome, the Ninja Turtle, or the Ninja Turtle figure, like, he's leaning against the other ones. And, like, there's the neutrinos that refuse to stand up no matter how much I try. And there's something falling down. I don't even know what the hell that is. Like, I fixed them, and then, like, 2 days later, something is falling over and fell into something else. It's just like, fuck you, toy.
I think one of Paul's favorite moments with me was when he was over at my house one time and I was trying to set up a Star Wars Black Series guy, and I knocked him.
Oh, no.
I tipped him over, and it was just the domino effect. And for people who just collect Transformers and don't collect like regular action figures, like, you don't really experience that much. Transformers have nice big chunky feet, and most action figures do not.
Yeah, it's funny, like, if there's a Transformer figure that you have trouble standing, like, we're like, this is the end of the world as Transformer collectors. How dare this not happen? You collect anything else, and you're so happy if it stands up for 5 minutes, man.
Yeah.
It's just like
Look at-
everything else is trash.
She's got freaking high heels on. Like, seriously, this toy stands up for all of about 30 seconds before she topples over, and her cake takes down about 10 other toys with her.
So I have the vast majority of the DC Collectibles Batman animated series line.
Oh, yeah.
And the Bruce Timm designs, like, in the show, is just these tiny little feet. all of them
Tiny
come down
feet.
to these tiny little feet. So luckily, all but like the last wave or two of that set came with a little tiny stand, and that helps. Like, I mean, the stands are shitty, but they work, well enough. But there's a few figures that don't have them, and they spend most of their time taking a nap. So
Yeah, Man Bat and Clayface are just like these gigantic torsos.
Yeah.
Like, little bitty feet.
yep.
So
So,
we
Transformers, I
are-
think, is the show.
What's that?
I was saying, I think we're a Transformers show.
Oh,
Maybe.
we are.
That's
Oh,
our-
okay.
Sometimes.
I mean, we're
Well,
a foot show now.
I
We
was
talk
gonna
about action
say-
figure feet.
I thought we were talking about Pops today.
Right. So I was gonna say that we are right on the precipice of both TFCon this upcoming weekend, and then we also have San Diego Comic-Con, which is next weekend. So we've got plenty of news coming out, but we're right before that. So I guess we're getting a handful of reveals from TFCon already, and then of course I'm sure they'll be doing the third-party panel, at some point, and we'll probably be disappointed by that, and say, oh man, why don't they have more reveals? Or we could have X-Transbots like reveal 100 figures that they're going to put out 5 years from now, right? One or the other.
5 years, Mr. Optimist over here. It's going to be 50 figures, not 100, and they'll come out in 10 years, except for the half of them that get canceled and we just don't hear about anymore. Get your
I
story
do want
straight.
to apologize to those folks who are looking forward to the TFYLP live show and Q&A. We're just all having passport issues, so we can't get into Canada. Some of us, that's like for good that we can't get into Canada, but most of us, it's just we'll be there next year.
One of these years, I'd like to go to this one.
Yeah.
I've never been to this one.
I'm not going this year though, because
Backyard convention.
I keep saying it's like, oh, I'm gonna go next year, and now
Yeah.
it's,
I
7 years
definitely plan to
later.
do LA this year. The next LA I plan to go to, because I haven't done that one yet, and it's in a consistent location, so that sounds like a nice thing to me.
Well, and I don't know what it is, but my vacation schedule somehow, like I've been taking vacations when TFCon happens, but apparently my wife doesn't want to go to a Transformers convention, like weirdly enough. So she actually placated me a couple of years ago with TFCon LA, but I think she's finally like, no, we're not going.
There is a con this weekend in Kansas City, Lucas. There's Collect A Con.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, they haven't been advertising very well. It looks like a thing.
Are they advertising about as well as TF Expo, or?
Yeah, except they have some pretty big guests, right? They have like big anime actors. But then they just, I don't know, like they only have panels on Sunday. They only have 2 days of an event. Saturday seems to just be a dealer's room and autographs. Sunday seems to have a few panels with just like the big voice actors. Seems like a strangely constructed creature.
So I have a question in regards to voice actors. They are part of the Screen Actors Guild, and the Screen Actors Guild just went on strike. Now, not all voice actors are, but for the voice actors who are part of the Screen Actors Guild, they just went on strike. They have been told, please don't even show up to San Diego Comic-Con, let alone do press and publicity and all that sort of thing, which is what San Diego Comic-Con is. So if you're a union voice actor, are you still allowed to do signings or whatnot at a convention sort of thing? So I'm curious.
I would assume so, because that's like a personal one-on-one agreement with that type of stuff. It's not through the guild. For a lot of them, that's like a lot of their supplemental income, comes from doing that stuff on the weekends. Plus, you got plane tickets and hotel bookings and all that type of thing. So
Yeah, I
mean,
get it.
Post
I
the
mean,
announcement
my
of the
assumption
strike.
is what's that, Peter?
I was going to say, post the announcement of the strike, TFCon Toronto did announce a couple more people today.
Oh,
So
okay. Oh, I wonder if they're like, hey, these actors got some free time now.
I mean,
Probably
it's
part of
different too. That's a lot different than like San Diego Comic-Con, which is a huge like corporate event versus,
Right.
smaller fan conventions.
Yeah.
It's kind of shitting where you eat to screw those guys over.
Yeah. That, and it sounds like we won't be getting the Earth Spark panel, or if we do, it'll be a much reduced Earth Spark panel at San Diego Comic-Con with just maybe producers and directors there.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. But we get new
But
episodes
We do.
14 days.
The end of season 1, it might actually, because that first part felt pretty complete, the first chunk we got, but then the second part just kind of like ended in the middle of a story. So I'm hoping we get like a nice coherent ending, just in case it doesn't get a second season. As a lover of recent animated everything, many things I like do not get second season, so I'm always on the watch out. Look out, look out.
So toys. What do we want to talk about?
Should we do TFCon first because it's sooner? Yeah.
Yeah, so Anna, I hear you're excited about some TFCon reveals, huh? Or some
This way I can
exclusives, I should say.
pretend that I get sick before we talk about the other half of the show, since I'm not as excited about San Diego Comic-Con as I am about TFCon. So yeah, they've been revealing their exclusives and their custom figure, and they have been following this trend of custom figures that are not model kits. Like that one year when they did a model kit, they're doing another retail figure custom kit, which I think that the custom class is better if they do a nice simple retail figure, because you might actually learn something. Anyone who's never gone to one of these custom classes, they're a class in name only, really. You get an instruction sheet, but there's really not like a teacher. There's really not like a class element to it other than following your own instructions.
That can really vary, that can vary wildly. Like I've had some smaller conventions I went to where like, no, you got instruction. Like the person there was leading you through it and showing you what to do, and you did some cool stuff. Like for all of its faults, like the SlagaCon ones were really fun. The two of them I did there, like we did electronics, and they showed you some tricks. You did some like spider webbed, windows like they've been cracked, and like a bunch of stuff. But then the BotCon ones were typically, here's your pamphlet. I'm gonna go sit over here. But at the same time, like a lot of people had done that several years, and that's all they needed, and they were good to go. And like it's not like the people wouldn't help you. I think I only did one TFCon one, and it's like, yeah, they'll help you, but a lot of people there know what to do. They're just like, here it is, start painting, and they'll help you out, but you're not really led through it.
I mean, I've done a couple of the TFCon ones, and I do feel like I thought one of them, they were like, all right, here, if you need some more help, try to sit towards the other side where the instructor is at so that he can help. But I think a lot of it is really more of trying to almost pull it out of them, like as far as like asking questions, what to do, but then like everyone is so socially awkward at those things that no one wants to actually ask questions, and then whoever's running it is too awkward to actually just sit there and tell you what to or ask like, hey, who needs help and whatever. So but I did find like when I was just asking them a lot of questions on what to do, that they actually were pretty helpful.
The first year I went, I got a good table. That was the year that I ended up meeting you, Lucas, through Sean, because I sat with Sean at the table he was at, and like we all kind of worked at the same pace and kind of helped each other and talked over the sets. Now that year we were taking apart a Fans Project Severo, painting it and putting it back together, which is, that's a really complex, pretty large figure. He's the Grimlock from Fans Project.
Okay, got it.
He's a big old guy. He's not a small toy, and he's complicated, and he has sprains all over, and Yeah, if Sean would have been there to help me take that thing apart and put it back together, I would have been terrified to do it on my own. So I think having a good table, we had a mix of people who were experienced and inexperienced. We all got through it. It all had a lot of fun. But then in another year, when I didn't have a table that was really united, people just kind of left halfway through and just didn't really finish the project. So it can be really mixed. But regardless of our experience with it, they're making Cycle out of the Prime RC / Laser Cycle / 18 different people mold. And that's interesting, right? Because that thing's going to have a butt ton of paint on it to get to Cycle. And it looks like it would be a really good demo for someone who's never fully painted a figure before, because it's not complicated, it's not big. It won't be hard to take apart because it's pretty much all joints you can clip apart yourself.
But it's also that's the RID RC, right?
Well,
No,
my thinking would be they would use the Road Rocket version, because
yeah, it's
a lot of
Road
cycle,
Rocket.
yeah, a lot of Cycle's already red, so that's the part you won't have to paint. But Cycle is white and red, and that white you're going to need a lot of coats to get that, covering up all those darker colors.
Well, that's what I was wondering, is like, what was the base toy and the colors on it?
Yeah, it's
like
the Transforming Legacy toy, so they're gonna probably use Road Rocket. Seems like a good idea.
I don't know what Road Rocket is. Like I know from like the original, I didn't know there was another release of it.
Here, I'll grab mine. Mine's probably closer.
You don't have to.
I was gonna say
Mine
Road
is-
Rocket, I think probably shelf warmed as well. That's the other thing that goes
Yeah.
into these, like, you have
Oh,
to
it
source
totally
them from
did.
somewhere,
Yeah,
right?
so
So
does
if it's a super popular figure,
Okay.
it may be more challenging to do.
I got-
So
You
like-
found it. That's good.
Yeah, I got tired like halfway through transforming her, and now she's half-formed.
Like the year that I did TFCon, it was an MMC's Sephiron or something. Was that the name of it? It was like their Nova, whatever.
Oh,
okay,
Serapis Prominion or whatever.
Yeah, that's it. Like just the truck part of it, not the full kit. I mean, like we painted into Optimus Primal, but it's like there were some parts there, talking about instruction where it's like, I got to get a bunch of white paint onto this black part. Like,
yeah.
I'm not good at that because that's hard to do. It turns out, like to make it look decent. And like some instruction would have been useful, on how to do that nicely.
So when they posted the Cycle, they said that there were still seats available, but that's like never happened in my experience. Most of the time, the custom class sells out before they reveal the figure, which sucks because you might end up doing something you really don't want to do.
Yeah, it's weird that they announced it. I don't know if no one ever announces it these days, or typically, but.
Where did they do Strong Arm from Ratchet, from Bumblebee Ratchet?
That was last year that was last October, right?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I think that was, I bought the kit after the panel, so I
Okay.
bought the kit to bring home with me, but then I haven't been able to find a Ratchet, so it hasn't been overly useful.
He had spare kits at the October show. I think it was originally from the Toronto show.
Oh, you're right, it was. It was.
It's a fun kit.
One they did, I remember what they did at the October show. Yeah, I really need to do mine, but I need to find a Ratchet to do it. I
I'll send you
considered
one.
doing it
Last
on
time I was
Ironhide
on
to make
with
you a
you,
new
I-
person.
I can send you one. I've got one I can mail you.
Oh yeah, you said you would, and then we didn't
Yeah.
talk about it. We should do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, because then I can make it, and I'll show it on the show and be like, I don't paint that well, and it'll be great. At least you're painting a white figure, different colors, so that should be pretty reasonably enjoyable compared to other forms of torture you can do to yourself.
So Anna, what are the
So-
other figures that have been revealed so far?
I was just gonna add one more thing. I think the Cycle looks kind of weird, but anyway, moving on.
It is what it is.
So yeah, they have done a few reveals. We first got the Fans Hobby. I can never remember all these names apart. The Fans Hobby exclusive, which is some guy called Stalker, right?
Oh, he looks so good.
He looks really good.
Yeah.
Like if that's one that like shows up online, I'll be pretty tempted by it. And it doesn't suffer the same problem that the double dealer does, where it's the wings are wrong, or the van is wrong, or truck, or whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
It's like it avoids all of that, and it just
Did
looks.
they take out the bird parts? I know someone told me it didn't have a bird mode, but
They
I
haven't
can't
shown a
imagine it
bird mode, but
doesn't.
I don't know that they've taken anything out.
Okay.
I just think they, and I could be wrong, but I just think they haven't shown it because Stalker doesn't have a bird mode.
Does
So
now.
who is the stalker guy? Eligible friends.
He's one of the European Gen 1.5 figures from like 1992. He's a Predator from the Predators subline in Britain and Europe, and Rob went to get his, so mine's in a box upstairs. He was redecoed into that Machine Wars Soundwave in '97. Yeah, so here Rob has him.
Wasn't there one
with-
more one too?
There were
Or am
plenty
I
more.
thinking-
Rob has him here with 2 antennas, which he shouldn't have, and his missile in the wrong spot. So go ahead and put that. Yeah, go ahead and put that missile, the little green one, in the gold plastic launcher. And
There's a reason they're up here.
give
and
us
not
a
in there.
demonstration. Give us the demo.
I mean, like, and there's I'm brave enough to put the gun in his
Put
hand.
it in the hand. Yeah, it's a
You're
terribly
holding
small
it.
peg. Yeah, it's a terribly
Yeah.
small peg. It's a 3
They're
millimeter.
almost all broken. Like they
Yeah.
almost always break.
Yeah.
So all of my Predators have their guns, and I did that. I don't know, years back, and it's like never touch it again. So yeah.
Yeah, he's got some great colors. For those of us who didn't follow, he showed up in the Big Wreckers comics everyone liked, right?
Yeah.
No?
Something like
Yeah?
that.
Okay.
He showed up in More Than Meets the Eye at the prison where
Okay.
where Skids was hanging out.
No,
I don't
the new colors are more vibrant than the OG. That or mine's a little yellowed, or maybe a little bit of both. But I'm down for it. It just makes it pop,
it
and
is
that's
so pretty.
how I picture it, anyways. And the mold works out really well for. I would have never thought, repaint a double dealer into Stalker. But I'm assuming there's some remolds on here because some of this stuff isn't in double dealer. So
Yeah.
So yeah, they definitely put a little extra work in there to make it snap. So I'm hoping I can find a way to finagle one.
But
I bet you will.
actually, since they're using a larger mold, it makes the masterpiece Stalker wildly out of scale from where he should be. So everyone should send me their copy for.
Basically trash.
Yes, I'll dispose of it for you.
Masterpiece
I
Stalker?
gave
You just
it-
mean the Fans Hobby Stalker?
I mean, the masterpiece scale double dealer that they've redecoed and retooled into Stalker. It's wrong, and they should send it to me. So you got to pay attention. You got to be snappy here, Phil.
See,
Come
look,
on. Jeez.
You're using the term masterpiece for a third party toy, and I was confused.
yeah, we do that here. See, it's so big.
It's way too
See the wrong
big.
size?
way
It's
too
just
big.
too big. It's bigger than my
So
head.
pretty. So
How
pretty in
old-
that mode. But
It is so pretty. I love the fact that you can just like kind of do his legs and his waist and everything however you want, since they gave him the second bot mode, quote unquote, that he doesn't have, but it just made him a lot more fun to play with. This toy is so good. If you're on the fence about getting the Stalker, but you want it, but you don't have this, and you can figure out how to get it after the show, or you're going to Toronto, I'm jealous if you are, then yeah, I think it's definitely worth it. I have no regrets on this guy. He's a little bit of a pain in the butt to turn into a bird, but the bird's also the least satisfying mode out of the 3. So
it's like the dinosaurs, though. It was kind of a pain in the butt. Took forever, but eventually, bird mode, and everyone was happy.
I see what you did
yeah,
there.
It took me a second. I got it.
that's good. That's good. So yeah, that's one of them. That's the most expensive of the 3 exclusives, I believe. It's definitely the largest. It's absolutely massive. There's only been 3 so far, exclusives. So then we heard about so they revealed MMC Mastermind Creations revealed their next heiress, which is their lady bot transformer who can shapeshift into different character looks. And everyone who loved the first figure, which was her kind of as Tarn sort of thing, everyone who loved that expected them to be making a new mold every couple years where she's a different major character. But instead, what we're getting is that same Eris figure repainted with a new head into something that homages Armada Megatron instead of Tarn. Because, he's a tank. Tarn's a tank, sort of. So that's together all right.
Have you not followed MMC?
No, I know what they do. It's just a bit. I was really hoping they would do something, new with her instead of just doing the same one with the new head. But yeah,
I mean, that's definitely something new.
I
Yeah,
can't help
it's
but
funny.
think this feels like this was revealed a long time ago, or maybe
It was.
hinted
Yeah,
at. Was
no,
it?
they
Okay.
Really?
Over a
put it
year.
in the third-party panel
Yeah.
or something like that. It did. I actually think it looks a lot
Yeah.
better now than it did originally. So
Yeah, didn't they redo her head?
They have gone through several revisions, right? The first version of her just had kind of messy colors, and people actually, it was so odd looking that people actually thought it was a new mold, which I just looked at it and said, no, they've just mistransformed it so it looks different. But everybody argued with me until they put out more pictures and they were like, oh yeah, it is the same mold again, just with a new head. And just like in the last couple days, they put out a photo showing a before and after where they fixed her face, because they gave her a really severe kind of like angry looking, kind of, I don't know, odd looking face originally. And she's had that face from the original pictures to the pictures that came out to literally the pictures where they announced the exclusive. And then just like today or yesterday, they put it out and said, actually, that's not the head she has. We changed it. We made it look like her first head from the Eris Coulter figure, the Tarn looking one. So now she has the same face she had in the last toy, which makes more sense, right? If she's a shapeshifter, but she keeps her own face. That's continuity, I suppose. But that's there. It's another Eris. If you missed the first one, this one is almost exactly the same with a different head.
Some big ears.
And some big ears. I really do, like, looking at the figure, I'm looking at it right now, I'm really wondering if those ears come off. They kind of look like they left them to where you can slide them off. And if they could, she'd pretty much have the same head she had in the Tarn homage. So we'll see.
I mean, it would make sense to do it that way. So
I'm on the fence with her. Like, I want to support MMC doing their new character. I want to support what they're trying to do with Eris, but I didn't want a repaint of the same figure, since they already released that figure twice in two barely different color schemes with a different face than the second one. I really didn't want this. I wanted something to continue their new idea, but
I mean,
It is.
I won't be getting it, but like, I think it's pretty neat. It's pretty out there. It's one of those, like, if space and money were infinite, like, it would be fun to mess around with and to have. And, I like odd stuff, but, it's still just too far out there to have a place.
It's
It's
interesting to
pretty
me
far out
with
there.
how well received Eris was and how poorly received this one has been.
I bet a lot of it comes down to that face. And I really wonder if they can kind of recover from that, like, look. And also the first pictures were they tried to transform her where her body looked a little more like Armada Megatron, and it really just looked like a mistransformed toy. So I think those first shots they put out were just so poorly done that it lost a lot of that love that other people had for it. Which is a bummer, but
I don't know. I mean,
maybe
I
it'll
kind of feel
succeed.
like doing it as an exclusive like this, it's, probably going to sell pretty well at the convention. And, their exclusives always sell well. So I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a huge issue. It's like people
That's the
complain
thing,
ahead of time and then they'll like it.
That original Eris was really hard to get, like, a week after it shipped, right? Like that thing was not easy to come across. So this one probably won't be either after a minute. Or who knows? It could be the first Eris to go on clearance. And then the only other one that's been revealed so far is the one that agitates me the most, and that would be MMC's next cassette bot. So they did Rewind as an exclusive last year. So let's do Eject as an exclusive this year in Canada. So Anna will have to find a way to get it.
I still haven't picked up last year's because like my understanding is that was a convention release, but there would be a normal release. And
Where is
nothing
it?
has happened. And like, I mean, maybe do they want to do them as a 2-pack? Like that's fine. I want them both anyways, but I don't want the hassle of getting them through a convention. And like, my understanding is that like the packaging is kind of what made the convention releases special. Maybe there's one of the extra like heads or something is only at the convention or something, whatever,
I think that's the case. Yeah.
Yeah, they said the extra heads were only at the convention one.
Okay, so they are still planning theoretically mainline releases there, but
At some point, but it's been a while now since that. I guess Rewind just came out in when was that? April? March?
Yeah, that was
Is that
LA.
when the LA was? So it came out this year. So they're both coming out this year. So maybe next year they'll do a 2-pack of the regular release.
hope so.
Fans Toys did their versions of some of the Autobot cassettes this year too, and Fans Toys throws everyone off because Fans Toys or whatever. So
yeah, they're entirely different scale though. These are the nice
the
big.
scale notwithstanding, I mean, people want the characters. I know
Yep.
character collecting and all that, and
I get that.
so some people, it might be giving MMC or Ocular Max or whatever brand we're talking about cold feet. And honestly, MMC has slowed down a lot. So
Yeah.
gambling on just a complete like wreck of a release for a mass release for their just released convention stuff, it's not worth the risk.
Well, yeah, I was gonna
Like-
say, I feel like in general that companies are much tighter with their production runs than what they used to be. Like, I feel like they, however many years ago, like 6 or 7 years ago, they'd have no problems with, doing a huge run and like, expecting that some of it may go on clearance or just sitting in inventory somewhere in a factory for a long time. And I just feel like nowadays that just doesn't happen.
World's a lot different. We've had a lot
Yeah.
of changes between like costs have went up a lot, so everything is naturally more expensive. And then we've all been doing it a long time. It's a lot of us are older and get a little more jaded, a little harder to get excited about stuff. And then we've all kind of I shouldn't say it's all, but like I know I've gotten like less hyped about pre-orders. I'm fucking sick of them. Right. So it's just like, let me know when it's out. And then you have stuff like for a while there, Fans Toys was really underproducing. And so like, if you didn't get the pre-order, you missed it. And then some Fans Toys stuff started sitting and going on clearance. And it's just like, it's just, there's been change after change. And, the third party scene has shrunk quite a bit.
Yep.
There's always some new company that everybody knows is really like, oh, that's TFC putting out crap as King Toys, or for example. Yeah, it's just there's been so many changes. I feel like a lot of the hype in general has died down, and plus Hasbro just does straight up G1 updates now. So people that didn't really like third party prices to begin with don't need it anymore. It's always been said that the main person who's going to kill third party is going to be Hasbro, and so for some people's collecting taste, that's what they've done.
Well, and that's the thing, I feel like too is that, G1 has been done by all the third party stuff, right? Like, I mean, not all G1, but a lot of the heavy hitters, right? Like a lot of the A-list guys and everything already. So, guys have their box checked on those types of things. And then Hasbro now has been going all over the place. You have no idea what they're going to end up doing. And so it's like, oh, are they going to homage, animated? Or are they going to homage like Cybertron or just whatever? Like, you go down Energon or Armada. And so it's like you go down the list of stuff and it's like, well, do I really want to put all this development time in something and I'm going to have to charge $150, $200 for something, and Hasbro is going to release something that's $50. And as much as you're like, oh yeah, I realize they're not the same thing at all, right? But like there is a limited amount of collectors that are like, oh yeah, give me the $200 thing instead of the $50 thing.
Plenty of people are happy with Hasbro stuff, and they're like, oh, the only reason I bought the 200 one is because that was the only G1 looking whatever. And now I'll just get this $50 one, and I'm totally content. So their box is checked, and that's ultimately what they were getting at, right?
That's another bummer about the MMC cassettes, because like when Ravage came out years ago, he was like a $65 figure, and the MMC cassettes are they're scaled so that they look like their masterpiece scaled after they transform, so they're made out of full size cassettes instead of mini cassettes. So that's kind of the scale they're going for there. So Ravage was like a $65 figure. And now Steeljaw, when I got him at the convention, he was like $90, I think. So,
Steeljaw sucks.
And Steeljaw is not good. And Ravage is good. So that's the other thing that makes you feel a bummer about
the rest are
paying
great.
extra for him.
Steeljaw is the only one I think sucks.
I have not been disappointed with any of them except for Steeljaw. He is absolutely fun to transform, and what you get out of it in a product is okay. Like he's an okay little lion. He looks mostly like he's supposed to, so he's a bummer. But has he even come out widely? Like, has he gotten a mass release?
Yeah.
MC Steeljaw? Okay, finally. I know it took a long time.
I thought mine was just a normal release.
I don't know.
I could definitely be wrong. Like I just had
You were
Planet Steel
at the
Express.
convention where I got mine, but
No, yeah, he's out.
There. Okay.
You can buy his normal release on Planet Steel Express right now.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah,
Rob and I were
that's
just,
a lot different of buying something on Planet Steel Express versus buying it from whatever retailer. I think that's the other thing too is you have to think about the logistics of like shipping figures that and paying for shipping, for things that like at a convention they can just show up with a couple hundred of these things and sell them out versus like having to ship them to all these individual retailers and I just wonder too if that's kind of part of the issue that they've had is that the shipping cost kills a lot of the profit margin. I don't know. I mean, who knows?
I think there's a couple things. There's like some of the retailers have gone away. There's fewer retailers that do this sort of thing, especially with the third-party toys. But Rob and I were having a conversation the other day. He had posted in a Facebook group a bunch of Ramhorn figures. Ramhorn and Steeljaw are two toys that it's like there's been newer versions, but the G1 toys like still hold up really, really well, and like no one's done this is the perfect Ramhorn or the perfect Steeljaw. I don't have the fans toys ones yet, so maybe those scratch that itch. But yeah.
Well, KFC got theirs out.
Both
they got their new ones out.
Yeah,
and then
Deformation Space came with out. Deformation Space had a Ramhorn as well, and it's like
oh yeah, that too.
Like they've done neater things with how do you get a cassette bot to look like something kind of bulky, but like in G1, he's still like you can still kind of tell it came from a cassette bot, even in the cartoon. And so it kind of just helps the original one still kind of be workable if you want it to. Yeah. So they've done some neat stuff, but it's not like it's hard to make it perfect.
Yeah. Especially when you try to make the weapons that were add-ons for the G1 toys, like part of the transforming, thing, fold all that in. Like that's not easy to do.
It's pretty neat.
And ends up making the whole thing smaller too.
Yeah.
So,
which is fine.
Do we want to get into speculation about what we think we'll see at the third-party panel?
Sure.
Period.
I think that's probably like the biggest stuff is the two Fans Toys combiners. That people are like, oh, I mean, we've seen some Superion stuff at least. They like showed it, like the 3D prints or the gray mock-ups or whatever the hell you call them. But I don't think we've seen finished pieces. They came out for pre-order a long time ago, and like with non-refundable deposits at a lot of places. But I don't know that we've heard anything about a release date. And then I still don't think there's Stunticons they've shown the last 4 at all, have they? Which I'm not in that set, but I feel for the people that are.
Yeah. The last ones for both sets, I'm in a couple different Fans Toys groups, and someone shared something that they heard from someone that they trust who's in the know, blah, 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 blah.
But I can't say his name.
Can't say his name. Oh, okay, so you
But he
read the
tell
same
me.
thing? Yeah.
You posted it. Yeah, you shared it.
I shared it?
You shared it somewhere.
Maybe I shared it with you.
Maybe it was just with me.
I don't know. Anyway, it was in a group. I found it, so it's fair game to share. He said that the designer quit halfway through before providing
Oh no.
full-on doodads, and so he took the designs with him. So they had the first 3 or 4 for whichever set, and now they're trying to reverse engineer it with like eyeballing the pictures that they had published. And it's
Then
not
like the CAD files or whatever.
Yeah, they didn't have the full CAD files. They just had like the photos that were given to them by the designer. So they're literally trying to eyeball it into existence, and it's not going well. So that's hearsay. It's what I read from someone who said that they spoke to someone in the know. I don't know.
It's plausible enough for where the hell are they, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It was
that's a
on the
bummer.
internet. It must be true.
Yep.
That sounds
crazy.
scary.
So why would the designer I'm sure they
Money.
had some kind of dispute over money.
Sure, it's
that
money.
Just seems crazy, right? Yeah.
I mean,
Chinese government disappeared him.
with a lot of that stuff, and I think it comes down to like everyone works as contractors. Like the engineering it's just somebody that's an engineer, right? That knows how to do that type of stuff. And so like it depends on how they're paid. Like some people are paid by project or by hour or whatever, and if they weren't paid to finish the last 2 figures, then you don't get the CAD files. I'm not going to, or if it's like, hey, we're paying you for this project as it goes along, and you need to send us what you create as you make it, and they dropped the ball and didn't get that, and then they had a falling out and they really didn't get it. Like where is it on that spectrum? Fuck if I know, but it's usually stuff like that. And because it's some, legally questionable third-party company in another country, and your engineer, maybe in the U.S., maybe in the U.K., maybe in China, maybe in Vietnam, like it's just a fan that is an engineer. Like, good luck actually like legal recourse here, right? So you hire another engineer that can hopefully pick up the pieces, I guess. Try to eyeball it and hope that your fucking 5 combiners full of die cast can stand up in the slightest. I mean, I have the Superion set. I'm in for that. And whatever train wreck comes out, I'll just hop it on board. And worst case, I got 5 aerial bots that stand around and look cool, And someone eventually will do a Superion, or I'll die, whichever first.
I have the X-Transbots Gen 2 version. I have the who's the other one?
Oh, wait, you mean Stunticons?
I'm talking Stunticons. Yeah, sorry. So I have the X-Transbots Gen 2 version. Yeah, I have the DX9 one in Menasor mode in the living room, and then I've got what is out of the Fans Toys in another section of the living room over there. And one of them is staying in Menasor mode, and I will put the Fans Toys one when it happens in Menasor mode, and then take it immediately down because I like the individuals for that set better, and the Gen 2 ones are on my desk at work. So I'm in for all 3. Meh. Gimme.
I've been trying to assemble the DX9 set because I think it looks better assembled, and it looks like it's not miserable. Which, I mean, for what's worth, the XTB ones are great. It's just the trailer's fucking terrible. The individual bots, I love them.
Yeah.
But the DX9 stuff, like, it's supposed to have a reissue of Motor Master, and there was some other stuff that was supposed to be reissued, like 1 or 2 of the car bots, and like I had pre-ordered them on eBay, and the eBay seller's like, they're having problems. I shipped the rest of like what I had ordered from him. He's like, it's coming. And then like after another month, he's like, it was kind of broken English, but you know what he was getting at is like, the quality's really bad. I just want to give you a refund. And I was like, okay. Like, it's so bad that they didn't ship it. Like, the factory didn't ship it. And then there were some Gabriels that came out around that time, and people that were a lot lesser quality than what people were expecting. And so, like, I think the same thing is happening with Capone and some of the other bits there. So, and I'll eventually find the other pieces one day, or I won't. Whatever. I'll live.
I heard about
yeah,
the
'cause
Gabriels. That was too bad.
It's
Yeah,
a
I was
great
gonna say,
figure. So good.
The original Gabriel was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
it was great. So
I have the
don't know.
undersized version now.
Rob, one of the first times I ever met you was at a TFCon, and you had gotten the X Transbots breakdown that day, and you're just like, "Oh, look, his chest looks just like an electrical outlet thing." I'm like, I can never unsee that.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Very accurate.
So, Rob, did you ever get the Zeta Superion?
No. It never.
Nice toy.
I've heard, yeah, everyone that got it liked it, but it was always just aesthetically not what I was looking for. And Fans Toys had stuff out that was what I was looking for aesthetically. Here we sit. So.
I really almost went for the Legend scale version of that so many times, but I have a Superion I like, so I just couldn't get
'cause
myself
you
to
have
get
the
it.
oversized Combiner
I have the
Wars one, right?
oversized, improved KO Combiner Wars JJ Jet Commander,
yeah,
which is
Jujang,
really
yeah.
nice looking.
See, there you go, Rob. You could have your oversized knockoff.
One day it may
I
come
hate
to it, right?
It hits the knockoff button and the pretty toy button, so I'm happy with that.
I considered that one for a while, and I ended up with nothing. Well, I have the TFC version in a box somewhere.
Yeah, Uranus.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was the first one on the block, so
I had that one for a long time.
Had to jump in.
I even had like the extra kits that came that they put out to change it up a bit.
The wings of Uranus or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. Sorry.
I remember just watching people get that, and just like I did not quite have the assets to jump into the third party game at that point, and I wanted it so bad. And now we look back on it and we're like, oh man, that wasn't even really close. But it's just like how excited we were about those old first third party combiners.
They were great.
It's crazy to think back to that.
All
They
the
were.
TFC ones were, yeah, I don't know.
They hit the spot. Yep, they hit the spot when we needed them to hit the spot. They were way better than what we were getting from Hasbro. There was more love in them then than the love we were getting from Hasbro at the time.
Yeah,
if that makes
I mean,
sense.
Who knows? Somebody
at the
knows,
time
but
we were
like,
getting-
you could say that the third party wave of that combiners is why we got Combiner Wars.
Yeah,
That
there's a good
timing
chance.
did
That was
not
that- that was
feel.
that-
That seemed pretty, lined up.
That was that free market research that we're always talking about. Third party is free market research for Hasbro. This is what they're after. We'll make it next year. While we were getting Uranus, Hasbro was giving us Thrilling 30.
Sure.
Thrilling 15 of 30, and then we'll see.
15.5
I mean,
of
I will
30.
say that the Make Toys Giant, I still always enjoyed that figure. I wish that it was
It's
about
cool.
twice the size.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty.
It was
pretty
giant back
tiny.
then compared to G1 Devastator.
I mean,
Literally called
it's the
giant.
Scale of Combiner Wars, but
Devastator's just like in a whole separate category because he's got like 24 third party,
There's only one that's considered masterpiece scale, though. Although now MMC and X Transbots are coming out with theirs. Plus, there's that other company that keeps talking about, no, guys, we're really so legit. You don't understand how legit we are. That is totally never going to put anything out.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, I can't remember what the
Vectron,
company.
right?
Yes, yeah, the one that started off with an oversized New Age knockoff Photoshop or something like that. It was.
It was interesting.
Yeah, they're like, no, guys, we're
Definitely
real.
Some
We're gonna be so
3D
good.
printed Constructicons hanging out. some pictures. MMC hasn't shown theirs yet, right? So that could happen at this third party panel. Devastator.
If they have, I missed it. That's very possible.
All we've seen is that foot reveal from the video. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that should
that would be
cool, right?
But I don't know if they'll actually reveal it here, because you never know. Like, I feel like MMC, sometimes they reveal a fair amount of stuff, and sometimes it's like there's just.
But that's all of them these days.
Yeah.
Some people like really phone it in, if anything, and like sometimes it like there's been times like Keith doesn't even send a slide deck, you know. And there's other times where or some companies will send stuff in and it's just old stuff. You're like,
right.
Yeah. I mean, you got 3 TF cons. Like when it was just 2 TF cons, that was a little bit easier. But now that there's 3, it's like, oh, we got to spread this out, and you know, not everyone's going to get all the love.
It's not even TF cons. I mean, you know, a lot of times they reveal it at other conventions in Asia as well, or like just on their own terms. You know, I mean, they know that anytime they like reveal something online, that all of us are going to sit there and share it 500 times. It doesn't matter if it's a convention or not.
Yeah, Fans Hobby doesn't wait for conventions to, like, they'll give us like additional updates on things, but for the most part, Fans Hobbies is just like, here you go, here's Tidal Wave.
Oh yeah, because they've been showing off their Buster and Hydra in development forever. That would be a really cool thing to look forward to at this panel, but we've already seen so many good shots of them.
I mean, unless they have a like, actual painted model in the case.
Yeah, that could be there too. Yeah.
I'm hoping that MMC has more final production photos of their Defensor, the remaining parts of it. And then, like, if they had renders for Devastator, that would be great. The 2 figures they have are super good. Highly recommend. You know, and I think from X Transbots, like, I think they're calling it Van. That's their next Defensor. It's called Van. I've heard that that's supposed to be pretty far along. From somewhere, I got that impression. And then obviously they're going to be showing Overdrive, who is like effectively shipping, I think, at the moment or something, or about to be released any day now. And then I think they have another one of their Omnibots isn't supposed to be too far behind. And then I think it's Punch Counterpunch, probably like some more final versions of that. A lot of people want to know where the fuck their Galvatron is, and we've at least had updates on that. Like they keep doing improvements to it and taking it back. Like Keith is being really persnickety and wants it really good. So
give me that Nightbeat.
Nightbeat though. So, yeah, I don't know. He released so much stuff. I suspect we'll see. Hopefully, get some updates on some of it, right? From that when he did that 40 figures, you know. But it was, remember what it was? The Runabout and Runamuck. One of those is supposed to ship this year.
And the Deserus too, right?
I hadn't heard that the Deserus is shipping this year.
Well, not shipping, but okay. I mean that's another one that's in the docket for eventual. It was part of that big. Yeah, like, I'm releasing all this within a year. No, you're not.
No, you're not. Even if pandemic didn't happen, no, you're not.
I suspect... He did get all the Junkions out. That was impressive. That was a ton of granted, it was built on like existing molds, but still, that was a lot of toys.
Yeah. I mean, and I got the new Ape Face and Snapdragon here behind me. You know, like he's put stuff out. You know, like they're not super consistent, but you know, stuff comes out. A lot of it is repaints. But
what is new about Ape Face and Snapdragon? I didn't know he did new ones.
It's cartoon colors.
Yeah, the deco's different. They're not all shiny, silvery, metallic, right?
Yeah, I got the toy decos from Orson.
For what it's worth, they weren't shiny silvery; they were gray swirly. But yeah, these are nice. And then if I like cross my fingers, I hope we see KFC's Power Master Optimus Prime. Or honestly, it's probably more like God Jinrai is what they're going for with it.
I could really use another, because I don't actually like the Fans Hobby.
I've heard a lot of people they like how it looks, but they're like the toy sucks.
It's I have a version of it. I don't have the Jinrai right now, but it's just like in Kinbai mode, it doesn't fit together, and I'd want it in Super Jinrai mode. So it would bug me to put it in that mode and then look at it and be like, that doesn't feel right, because it just doesn't feel stable in that mode to me. So I'm not a big fan of it, but I would like someone to take another stab at it because it's a neat toy. The cab is cool. The cab is really cool, but the
All of it's
fly
cool.
mode just isn't great. I don't really like. I don't like the base mode you can do for it, where you do the base where he's got the gun. I think that looks worse than the original Power Master Optimus Prime toy did in its base mode.
You don't like the Power Baser's base mode?
Don't like the Power
What a
Baser's
base
base mode.
take. No, I've been really looking forward to that release since it got announced, a billion years ago, and then like it stalled when the KFC designer left. But we've seen like updates here and there over the past like year or two, like of further along development shots and like pieces. So like I know he's definitely still working on it, and I hope that's nearing a release. I feel like Keith has had some surprises the past year. Like he's like, here's this crazy Ultra Magnus, and you're like, really, you're doing that? And then before I knew it, was like, oh yeah, it's shipping, and also we're doing 2 versions. And it's like, all right, cool, you do you. It's so I don't know. I don't think we ever know. It's like, is he going to do one of the 80 things he's announced, or is there going to be some other new thing that he just got excited about and it got farther along quicker than some of the other stuff? Yeah, those are what I'd like to see.
I remember one I do want to see. That is the 4th Headmaster. So we've got Highbrow has already come out, or it should be shipping any day now. So I need me my brainstorm.
Highbrow from who?
Isn't that Make Toys? Who did Cupola and Ironhead?
Iron Will.
Iron Will.
Make Toys is their whatever got out finally? Is it actually shipping, or what do you say?
It's not shipping. It's like, so if you look at like websites like BBTS, they're like, oh, shipping in July.
Yeah.
Or shipping in June.
Okay.
So they're at the point where it's like month to month they're updating it, saying it's shipping like the month whatever you're in right now.
Is this your first time?
Are you new here, son?
Yeah. What are you doing?
But the fact that is at the point where it's that far along, to show renders of Brainstorm, whatever they'll call their Brainstorm.
You know what? I love your enthusiasm and your I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Your navite, whatever.
It's like sweet
my
summer child.
Yeah.
Bless his
Blitzwing
heart.
Pre-orders, yeah, my Blitzwing Fans Toys pre-orders are right there with you, and your Make Toys Highbrow. I have Abaddon. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that I ordered a particular model kit from Big Bad Toy Store back in, I believe, March of 21, and it has been coming this month for the last 2 years.
Oh wait,
so
I'm on Show Z, guys, and this Make Toys, it's releasing June 2023, guys. So
all right,
we came out last month.
They're gonna make it. They're right there.
I genuinely hope it comes out soon because I want it. But I have the other 2. They're in the living room, and they need friends. So let's all
Cool.
yeah, let's all hope that happens soon. I like Turtles.
Will is right now.
Make Toys if they like.
So I'm actually hoping that Fans Project Hardhead comes out. That's what I've been waiting for myself. So,
remember?
What do you guys think? Do you think it's coming out soon?
It's only been 4 months since we sat there and we were trying to figure out if Fans Project was going to be making a comeback because they did an exclusive at TFCon LA. So maybe this could be the big reveal. The Fans Project's coming back.
Hold my fingers. So I went ahead and sold my was it TFC Hardhead so that I could get that one. So
well, the thing is, if Make Toys does is serious, hey, the last 2 are coming out, we're actually going to finish the 4. That's when Fans Toys will reveal theirs. Because they've already revealed the Chrome Dome a while back, and there's been pre-orders out for that and whatnot. So they'll be like, oh, here's the rest. They're totally coming tomorrow. You shouldn't buy those. So they've been vultures around like finally we killed them off. We're not letting you rise from the grave.
That's
So
how they do it. Yeah.
how they do it.
Can I throw out a real piece of speculation that I
Please.
kind of hope happens? I hope that some third-party company tries to give us a decent rendition of Beasttown USA Mirage, because we're not
Don't
getting
know
good
what that
toys.
is. Beast Town?
Rise of the
Rise of the
Beast.
Bests.
Oh,
I
I
call
haven't
it
seen
my
that.
own
So
name. Well, okay, there's this character named Mirage. He's a car man.
who is
He's voiced by
Jazz?
Pete Davidson, and he's someone that a lot of people left the movie theater liking quite a bit, and Hasbro has not really produced a toy of him that does any
No, they
justice
just
to
revealed it
the
not too long
design.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like
but it
all
doesn't-
backpack, right?
It's okay. The Studio Series Mirage is okay. It's a lot better than the first images they showed of it, but it doesn't really, like, these third-party companies have been coming
I
and
think
just like
I think you're gonna get it.
making one-off. They just make like one-off
Yeah.
random movie character that looks really great in bot mode.
I think
I
you're gonna
like to
get
see that.
I think Mirage will happen because of that. Like, maybe I would expect Toy World. Don't they usually get pretty? I know for a while there they were pretty deep in movie stuff and doing a lot of movie stuff, and I don't know if they still are or not. I kind of got out of it and don't really pay attention to it anymore.
I just
But
remember
them
when
or
New
one of the
Age
random
made a
ones.
when New Age made a freaking Masterpiece Skull movie Soundwave. It was like, why is New Age, a Legends company, making a Masterpiece
Right.
Skull movie Soundwave? They felt like it. I think it was good, whatever. But yeah, I want to see a Mirage, because other Rise of the Beast characters, sure, that's fine. And they could do that too, but he's the one that really needs it because he just didn't get a proper toy yet.
I don't think that's a crazy speculation.
No, it's not a crazy speculation. It's
It's one of
just
those
something that
I think you got to do it quick though.
it's
like,
a little
it's not
out
one
of
that-
character too, because I usually don't collect movie stuff, and I probably wouldn't even get it if I do see a cool one. But I just want it to exist.
Just,
I
we just
he
want to
needs
see
a good
it. We want to see
toy.
renders, images. That's
There's
what
a
I
lot
collect,
masterpiece
renders.
figures are masterpiece like figures, Rob, that I like seeing you get because you enjoy them and they're
Aw.
pretty, that I will never touch
Aw.
because I don't want to play with those.
Like on that vein, I'm excited for anything TransArts feels like showing. As well as a Metagate, because they did the Pterosaur. That the fact that they made that transform, that they made Beast Wars Pterosaur actually transform, and like all that crap collapses into him, and it was an ambitious first effort from a new company. I don't know who they really are, but I don't think that type of engineering is your first toy. There's a lot of clever stuff in there, but there's also some faults with it. But either way, like I'm excited to see who they tackle next, and I just hope them and TransArts can play in different areas, because give me more. Don't step on each other.
Yeah, that TransArt stuff's neat. I haven't started getting it yet, but
If you like,
definitely want.
they're generally on the cheaper side. I feel the plastic shows that. They're also very, very simple, generally speaking, in the transformations. But it's not a bad thing. It looks great in both modes, and they just found simple ways to do it.
I think
the most
the
part.
nostalgia would probably hit just right though, because it's like when we get that reveal of the MP44 in toy colors, I had like a nostalgia moment that I did not expect. Right, I saw that with the toy head and the toy colors in that like nice fancy new toy look, and I was just like, wow, that's just like a toy from my childhood, but neater and more posable. And I think TransArt is just like hitting that nail on the head. With they don't have to completely remake the figure from the ground up. They just have to improve it, make it look a little more screen accurate, make it transform a little nicer without totally making it utterly complicated. So
If it was really a toy from my childhood, Anna, I'd be constantly worried where his fists were.
that's right. It wouldn't have fists. None of my G1 figures have fists.
Yeah, I think that's all I have for third-party stuff. Just the typical masterpiece stuff. I'd like to see the stuff they've announced get further along, and then maybe they
Yeah.
can surprise me with a character or two they want to come out with next. So
That's what I expect to.
Do we have a San Diego Comic-Con Transformer set yet? Is that the Alita one and Dion.
It's Uriel and
Ariel.
Dion.
Ariel and Dion. Okay. Because like just in the last couple of days, they've been announcing other sets for San Diego / PulseCon. Like today, a Marvel Legends set got revealed. There's a Power Ranger set that Hasbro got leaked the other day that looks very much like it'll be a San Diego kind of thing. So, but yeah, we've had the Transformers one. It sounds like leaked for months now.
Yeah, they did a press
didn't-
release style
I was gonna
deal
say, didn't
for
they?
it like
Yeah.
a few weeks ago,
Yeah, so
and
now
it was
leaked.
just
There
like
you go.
it like even the release itself kind of felt like it was kind of like phew, because it was like, we know you've seen this and we know you know about it, but that's what we're selling. It's there, it's coming. So, and plus I just cannot stand the face they gave Ariel. It just doesn't look right at all. Frustrates me greatly. But
Does anyone have
also
interest
the body?
Does anyone have interest in the Fans Toys Ultra Magnus, the armor former? Like
Toys has an Ultra Magnus.
Yeah, they revealed it last year, like around the time XTBs was coming out. But it's doing the armor former. So there's a Prime underneath, which means that Fans Toys is doing an Optimus Prime as well. I don't know, like some people were going nuts about it, and I'm just kind of like, I don't want armor. Like the all-in-one Ultra Magnuses are so much cooler to me. You know, I don't like thinking of him as just, you know, repaint Prime underneath and it's tacked on. But I don't know if anybody here was actually thought that was cool or looking forward to it.
I'm willing to give it a shot. I have a need for Magnus on my 87 Masterpiece shelf and my 86 one, because on 87 Ultra Magnus dies. So, just spoilers.
Don't read the episode titles.
Is it episode 20? Episode 26. Episode 26 of Headmasters. You're welcome. And yeah, I'm willing to give it a shot. If it sucks, it sucks. If it doesn't suck, it doesn't suck.
Right after he becomes friends with the Battle Beasts.
Did I tell you that I was doing Battle Beast stuff? The boy and I watched Rebellion on Planet Beast 2 days ago because I set my Battle Beasts up in the living room. Because nice. Killer Carp on Instagram was doing a claim sale, and I was like, I gotta get everything I'm missing right now. And the boy is like, no, don't do that. And I was like, okay, let's just watch Rebellion on Planet Beasts, and that'll make the feelings go away.
That is the opposite of how that works.
You are correct.
So now you got some Battle Beasts. Lion. Did you get the X Transwats? Either of their colors?
Negative. I'm trying not to buy anything right now because I haven't opened Aussie. I haven't opened the MMC Red Alert. I haven't opened the last 4 Transart things. I have Fans Toys Chomp, Fans Toys Hannibal, all these trains. I don't know if you
could be opening them right now while we talk.
I could be, but I got to take pictures and stuff. Trains.
You've made opening stuff too much of a process. Just fuck it. Fuck the process retail. And just open it, man. Have fun.
Nope. I don't want to have fun.
Gotta savor it.
This isn't about fun.
I mean, I savor
fun. This is
openings.
About satisfying the noises in my brain so I don't, kill again.
I mean, they didn't catch you. They won't catch you again. Fine. I've gotten really good about opening my stuff pretty quickly. Like, I may not put it on shelves and stuff. It may sit back here behind me, but that just makes me fiddle with it more until, I finally get a chance to put it on the shelf. So, like, that's battled my laziness and my hobby at the same time. Like, it's opened, I can play with them and check them out, whatever. But yeah. Later on, figure out where the fuck I put them.
I had like quite the pile of boxes for a minute there, and it made me very uncomfortable having that pile of boxes. So I'm glad to be caught up with it again.
Where I got bad was NECA Ninja Turtle stuff. They had it was basically like a year's worth of stuff that all got shipped together. And so I just had this big pile of NECA Ninja Turtle stuff, and my shelves were already full. And I was like, I have to move shit to figure it out. So those sat for a while until I worked out what I was doing and did some of it. They're already full.
NECA toys are a good 15 minutes to sit there and get the full toys.
They're so terrible to open.
Yeah,
I hate it.
You hate getting new toys.
I've been trying to make a statement.
I'm looking for.
I've been trying to make a statement in response to Rob for the last 10 minutes, but I misplaced my Eva colored Dr. Wu Optimus. I was trying to find it so I could be like, that's the Ultra Magnus I'm excited for. So Dr. Wu's been doing these tiny duders, right? They're doing an Ultra Magnus based off of their prime mold, and it looks so good for being just a few inches tall, right? These things are tiny. He's probably going to be this big in his big mode. I am really pumped for that, and I'm hoping, though they've never really, big mode. That's what you call it.
That's a Headmasters reference.
I'm really hoping that that Dr. Wu shows off some new stuff. They probably.
I was gonna ask if you had any like Legends or Dr. Wu type stuff you were hoping to see or think we'll see and whatnot.
It would be Dr. Wu now because I'm really into how the Dr. Wu stuff looks with Titans. It's really cool. Like, it just works out really well. Like the Legend stuff with Titans, it's like, oh, it's a little bit better, but everyone's still too big. But the Dr. Wu stuff, it's like they're Micromaster sized. So they actually, Micromasters play well with the Titans. So these little guys, you get your Sunstorm that plays well with Titans, and that's cool to have a full character.
Do we think MMC is done with the IDW line? I know we've heard rumors of that.
I feel like it. I mean, I don't know.
And I think it's okay if it is.
I mean, everybody who wants toys from the IDW run wants there to be a Nautica. I don't want to give up hope that MMC would make a Nautica because that would be like the best Nautica, but it's probably not going to happen. I really want it. Like, it would be so good if they finally just put her out. And are we we're like a year and a half out from when they did run?
Sure.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So,
because it was,
you could say it's been a while, or you could say it's recent.
No, it was TFCon Chicago.
Octo,
Not this past one, but like
the one before. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, or no, it was TFCon Baltimore. I'm sorry, TFCon Baltimore. There we go. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's that whole ship seems to have sailed. We've got a new company doing the comics. We've got the
two comics old now.
Yeah,
it's two comics old now.
I mean, if we want to shift a little bit to what this expects from San Diego, I think we're going to get a lot of Transformers comic book news out of San Diego. A lot of Void Rivals. Second issue of Void Rivals comes out next week, just like the day before San Diego Comic-Con starts. So, Skybound and Image both have big presences at San Diego. Which, side note, I watched Renfield last night, the Nicolas Cage
it's so good
movie. Yeah,
it's fun. It's very fun.
Robert Kirkman wrote that, or like came up with the story concept. Yeah,
is that on streaming somewhere? Or?
It's on Peacock.
Oh, okay.
So if you have Xfinity, you get Peacock for free. So watched it last night with my wife, and it's gory.
It's exactly what it says it's going to be on the box, right? And it leans into it, and it has fun, and it's Nick Cage. And if you don't love Nick Cage, we're not friends anymore. He is a gift to the world, and he does so much wonderful, ridiculous stuff, and then like some really great, like, in-depth performances at the same time. He's all over the place, but it's awesome.
The Void Rivals writer, the Transformers comic book property owner, came up with a story pitch for that movie. So that surprised me. Yeah,
I think to me the disappointment is that it's like, ooh, Robert Kirkman, but he's not writing the new Transformers actual comic, and Void Rivals isn't Transformers. Skyfire or Jetfire or whatever one of them showed up for a half second. Whoopee. Like Void Rivals is going to be about Void Rivals. Maybe there'll be some more crossovers and stuff here and there, but
but he's going to have a hand, I think, in the Transformers universe itself. Yeah. Daniel Warren Johnson, I'm a little perturbed at the reveal we got of the Decepticon and Autobot lineups, I've heard people say like, "Oh, that art doesn't look that great." Daniel Warren Johnson doesn't do static dudes just standing there. Daniel Warren Johnson does bombastic, crazy, over the top stuff. So if you look up, his art dealer is Felix Comp Art. He did a piece for them this week of Bruticus and Starscream that just looks insane. I started going back and reading some of his stuff. Like, I haven't been reading comics as much of the last couple of years as I'd like to. And this week I read his Beta Ray Bill book from Marvel, and that book is just fan-freaking-tastic. You've got a lot of like robotic stuff in there, a lot of crazy outer space stuff. That book, it just was so much fun, and he wrote it and drew it, and it just is. If he gets that tone in a Transformers book, this is going to be a fun ride. So I hope we get a little more of what we're going to see out of the Transformers universe from him. So the dude's just like right up my alley. It might not be everyone's taste, but my enthusiasm for it is way up there.
Like most of the recent fiction for me from the past decade or two that like I really got into was because the people behind it were just ultra Transformer nerds. Like before they were anywhere near working on the property, and they they had receipts on that. Like they could trace it back to them just being nerds on it.
Yeah.
Is DWJ that guy, or is he?
So if you go and listen to the interviews on our YouTube page, you can hear like he does have a pretty significant enthusiasm for Transformers and for Optimus Prime.
Enthusiasm for them versus I'm into this and all up in it is very different, though. It's like, oh yeah, these are cool, these are fun. Ooh, I like it when Red Guy does the thing.
No, I think he knows what he's talking about.
Can't wait till issue 3 introduces Voltron, King of the Decepticons. So
we didn't get like that,
for that
invested in it, but I just think like this is a dude who, like, when he was younger, he didn't get to experience like a lot of the stuff that we're into. He was raised in a pretty conservative household. Like he talked about how his first exposure to comics was Calvin and Hobbes, because that was okay to read. It wasn't like the main comic books. And so a lot of Calvin and Hobbes comic strips have like a lot of energy and a lot of motion to them, because you had to do a lot in like the small news strip space that you had. And so, you get a lot of that. And so I get this vibe and energy from him that is like, oh, I'm an adult now. I get to do all this stuff. And like, he is like a big kid in this playground right now. And from some of the other books that he's done that I've read, like you just get the sense that this is a giant man child that is having so much fun and is really good at this. And I really sincerely hope we get that from the Transformers books, because again, from the other stuff I've read, it's a lot of fun. And he just has a lot of like nerd influences and pop culture influences. Like he's a big guy into wrestling and that sort of thing. So he's just, I think he's going to bring some new things and new ideas into this. And like when you read some of his other books, like there's just like kind of simple things that he brings into it that are just like, oh, that's fun.
I want it to be good, and that's really my only. Like, I know it's not going to be as like formy as some other Transformers fiction has been, but as long as it's good and I can enjoy reading it and talking about it with you guys, that's great. If
my peer group generally says pretty good things about it, I'll wait till like the first trade is out, and get it on Comixology or something and give it a spin. Whoa.
Yeah.
Why are you shaking no, Peter?
Don't get anything on Comixology.
What's wrong with Comixology?
Support a local comic shop.
Oh, but those don't exist, and I don't want the physical product. I want digital. I don't want physical product anymore.
I hear
for the most
ya.
part. I
know where you're coming from.
The world has moved on, and I have moved on with it. I don't hate comics or anything like that, but like outside of special issues and stuff, I mean, I even like reading them in hand better. Like, I don't deny, but I'm just too fucking inconvenient.
Right.
And what are you gonna do with them?
Phil, I
Yeah,
do
I
love
You
how
can
your whole-
pull the Nick and the Peter and the Rick and get two versions. You buy the physical copy to just have, and then you get the digital copy to
Oh,
read.
there you go.
No.
I suggested to book club that we read them together as they came out, and half the book club was just like, I'm only buying the trades, so that's not happening. So I was totally bummed out by that because I wanted to read it as it came out with them. I thought that would be fun.
Nick would appreciate if you buy the physical versions,
Yeah.
preferably from him.
I mean, I'd appreciate if people want to give me money just for the hell of it, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen.
I'm going to try to read it as it comes out this time, though. I really wish I would have done that with IDW that everyone hates.
Like, that's like a big truth of it is 20 issues and then a month later, or 20 pages, and then a month later, another 20 pages. I don't remember anything about the story. No idea what's going on anymore. And I don't want to have to like keep rereading it over and over. But if I get a trade, I can actually have a story read at once, or over a week or whatever, right? When it can all stay fresh. And I always enjoy them. There was some stuff that the first read through, I was like, man, that was some boring crap. I did not enjoy that. And then I went back and read them all together, and I really liked it. And it turns out it was just the real life pacing aspect of it just killed the story for me.
That might be what my
you can
problem was
remember-
with.
But so Rob, then you can remember 6 months later when you buy the next trade, but you can't remember 30 days before from issue to issue.
But at least I can just pick up the trade and quickly hit the back and get a summary enough.
All right, fine.
It's also easier to pull up some memories of a full story than it is just a partial set of memories.
I'm
the way
just
we
giving them
construct
grief.
memories.
I
know.
I get it. Yeah.
So Peter, what were you saying?
I don't remember.
Talking about trades and remembering the stories.
Oh, I remember.
So, do you guys expect any, since we keep up with the Pulse events and we keep up with the leaks and we keep up with the pictures, do we expect to actually see anything new to us at San Diego Comic-Con toy-wise?
So, they already mentioned that they're going to do Studio Series Ultra Magnus. So, we haven't actually seen it. Like, we know it's coming, but so that's, I think, I know, Peter and I mentioned that we were really excited about that last week in the show. So that's, I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure they'll probably have a couple other things.
Now, in the announcement, they only said Studio Series Commander, right? So maybe they'll just surprise us and all the leaks were fake and it's a different commander. It won't be. It'll be Ultra Magnus.
Could be
The leaks are
Stratosphere.
almost too reliable. It could be Stratosphere. Oh, that would make everybody so mad, except for me and Christian. We'd both be happy.
I'd be happy just from the standpoint of like the Zig versus the Zag.
I would like that. Plus Stratosphere is cool just to have a carrier robot like that. But he needs to be like ultra supreme class to actually work with your other toys. So he's not really reasonable.
I'm just gonna get him and call him Bender the Offender. But no one else.
I think
wants
there's
to whatever. Bite me.
I think that, I feel like Hasbro stuff is just constantly trickling out news of things, sometimes bigger bumps, sometimes littler bits, but it wouldn't surprise me if they had a few things to either, if nothing else, just show for the first time, even if people knew about it. Maybe they'll have some things to announce that people didn't know about yet. Like they do where they do that stuff where they're like, here's the next wave, and a lot of it's just like old art of the character that pre-existing art, but they're like, that's what's coming, something about that
through the
thing.
space bridge.
Yeah,
the
space
pipeline
bridge.
reveals.
That's the word. Yes, like I could see them having one of those ready to go. Or
They
something.
could do that. Yeah.
Ron brought up the idea that we're going to get like this reveal like a day or two before the convention in some sort of website. And that's been the trend for a couple of years. But coming back to the idea of the writers and actors strike, that might change the media environment of San Diego, because like it used to be for the last decade plus that all the movie news so dominated everything coming out of San Diego that if you were a toy or comic book company, you're revealing everything kind of beforehand so people can then talk about it at the panel. But you're getting like a few days ahead of the news events of the movie stuff. But if the movie stuff isn't coming out this year because of the strikes, maybe we will get more things revealed at a panel or at the convention itself versus on a website 2 or 3 days before the show. Not that it matters much.
Are they doing, because I know there's been like little snippets of ads from Hasbro mentioning the next HasLab that I think is going to be a Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
Are they doing that at SDCC?
They'll probably, my guess is they'll probably like reveal that or show that off.
Over the
I
course of
don't
the
think
week.
they're going to do.
That's just going to take a lot of Hasbro energy to do that.
With the way the teams work, I think I don't know if we'll feel that as much on the Transformer side. The Transformer side feel like it was going to get a pretty big push because you had the movie that just came out, Transformers 1 that's coming out next year, the new season of Earthspark, the new comic book, and obviously the constant toy line. So there's a lot of energy momentum behind Transformers to kind of have its own little space.
When did the Death Source Kickstarter start last year? HasLab, sorry.
Like November into December or something.
Yeah, was that New
Okay.
York Comic Con? Well, it wasn't tied to it.
It ran from October 27th to December 12th.
So basically like November to December.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be yet. We shouldn't be expecting anything fun like that.
Maybe we'll get a tease.
I look forward to it just because I don't know what's coming at all. Like I feel like I might be a little bit surprised. The Source wasn't much of a surprise after Saber. But since they said the next one wouldn't be Japanese.
I mean, that's the endorphin, cycle. We gotta get excited for the next reveal.
Right. And that way we back it before we even realize what it is.
Well, I'm curious to see, like, when are the Walmart exclusive figures going to start dropping? And, like, are we going to get any more of those? I'm sure that's probably not going to be San Diego Comic-Con, but, like, are they going to, kind of put up orders for the rest of that wave?
Their
That line
collector
is so
con
weird.
is next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they'll come. Yeah, they'll be revealed next week.
Are you talking about, Cobra Mole Rat?
It's
The
a
Transformer
classified
character, Cobra
toy
Mole
that is
Rat.
revealed. Yeah. It's a classified figure that has some flavored text that talks about the old classic Dark Energon.
He comes with an alternate head that's got a chunk of Dark Energon in his skull, making him some sort of zombie.
Yeah. So they're putting the
Whoops.
crossover into the classified toys, which
Mhm.
Christian, if you're listening, G.I. Joe and Transformers, they love each other.
You got chocolate in my peanut butter.
If anybody's buying that Soundwave, his tank thing, whatever, and doesn't want the Ravage, let me know. I mean, no one's going to.
Yes, you go here to find the people who don't want the Ravage from the Transformers.
It's a Masterpiece toy, and you hate Masterpiece toys, so you don't need that. I'll take
I
it.
have all the Masterpiece cassettes. What are you talking about? Those are great. They're fun toys.
No, they're not. They're crap, just like the rest of Masterpiece. Overcomplex garbage.
Oh, I see. You're trying to convince me because you want my Blue Ravage.
Correct. It goes with
yeah.
my G1 Blue Ravage.
And Ron,
Well, not
G1,
whatever it was.
That the San Diego Comic Con G.I. Joe Chuckles comes with a Sound Blaster accessory.
Yeah, he does. I don't know if they meant for it to be Sound Blaster or if they tested a one color plastic and it's just Soundwave and it just happens to be black, but
now it's
definitely.
Sound Blaster now.
It's
I'm
definitely
curious if it's
Sound
just,
Blaster to all of us.
I haven't looked at it closely enough to see if it's a repaint of the San Diego Comic Con Soundwave backpack toy from, what was that, the Shockwave set?
Probably not.
It was the Shockwave Hiss tank.
I love that all of us who were watching those reveals, like the first thing we thought when we saw that Ravage on the chain was that it was just the old G.I. Joe crossover Ravage, which was just a little statue guy. And that
was the MP.
We put our glasses on and said, oh, it's the MP.
I wouldn't have been able to see the reveal if I didn't have my glasses on. I knew it was the MP.
I was just surprised that they busted it out for that. You know, it was just It was a nice little surprise.
No, it is a nice little surprise, and it makes the set feel like
it makes me want to buy the set.
Overpriced. The other two sets it felt very overpriced, and this one doesn't because it has an MP cassette thrown in addition to 2 G.I. Joe peoples. But
I mean,
we've already talked a lot about that one. Perhaps me and Peter were torturing Christian a couple weeks ago because of that.
Maybe just a little.
Perhaps that was really fun. But
Rob's just salty that he wasn't there to jump on the dog pile.
It was very fun. But as far as this show goes, do you think we're gonna see, like, where does the weird stuff like those YOLO Park Rise of the Beast figures, like, where did that get revealed? Did that get revealed at like a Comic-Con?
I don't know. I think those are sort of just one-off type of things.
They just came out of the air? Because they're doing more. They're not done.
Yeah, but Comic-Con is just such a large beast that it's like hard to break through the noise. So you sort of have to reveal it like in a quote-unquote slow news week.
I don't know. It does sound like next week that Roboson's going to be having a panel themselves, like on the 19th to potentially reveal a new figure too. So you got that.
I mean, Roboson's pretty perfect for this because they are a company that does break through the noise, so to speak, because they market towards not just the toy collector. You know, they market towards the tech bro nerds too. So
and their prices are so big, they make headlines.
Yeah.
Because we can't help but comment when a Transformers product is released for 500 plus, right? Like we've talked about that gosh darn Megatron Segway multiple times just because it's so expensive and obtrusive. But then when you get the $30 YOLO Park figures that most people just skip, it's like, oh well, it's a $30 Transformers model kit. It is not a model kit, but $30 Transformers model kit.
So what is it then?
What is it? It's an action figure that comes in about 10 pieces that you just clip together real fast. Model kits, you have to cut things off sprues and you have to go through a bunch of steps, and this is just a action figure you put together. Not even as complex as a Lego kit. But it's beautiful. It's really good. So I hope that they make more friends for him.
Duplo flame toys?
I really hope that they do a Mirage. Again, I just want him to get a toy that has an accurate bot mode, and this would be an accurate bot mode because this is a really good primal bot mode.
Do you guys
I got a feeling we're going to have to wait for MPN Mirage until we get a really good one.
Do you guys think that Super 7's going to reveal anything Transformers related, or do you think that they're kind of done with that whole line?
I think they'll still do. I think Reaction is fine with them, but I think
for sure.
I think their Ultimates, they're going to be like, what Ultimates? Yeah, your Transformer Ultimates. Well, I guess maybe we'll think about that someday. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. I think they're going to just pretend that what they did never happened.
So do you? So with that reaction, Rob, do you think that because recently they canceled 2 or 3 of their Power, I think it was just 2 of the Power Rangers Ultimates. They were in like wave 3 of the Ultimates. They actually just said, we didn't get enough pre-orders, so we're canceling these figures. They didn't cancel the whole wave. They just canceled 2 out of 3 of the figures. One of them got enough pre-orders, so they said they'll make it. So do you think they're going to do something like that with waves 2 and 3? Because we have 3 waves of Transformers. We've only seen 1 and we hated it. So
it wouldn't surprise me. I just remember there's the first wave. I got 2 of those figures in hand, and I think the next wave had a couple, like 1 or 2 figures again that I was like that I would pick up. But then they went to like to just, the top 5 characters from each. Like they're just going to do Prime, Starscream, Megatron variants. And they did like a wave or 2 of that, something like that. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me because I just don't feel like we've heard anything about it. They do send out like emails every now and again with here's all of our crap, and I don't remember what they said last time on it. But like normally I'm looking for their Transformer or Ninja Turtle stuff, and like where the hell's all that crap, coming from, or when's it coming? But yeah.
Because that'll be, if they actually release it, that'll be the only licensed toy of Nickel from the comics if the Tarn actually comes out.
I have to imagine the Tarn got enough pre-orders.
Yeah, if they're going to do like a buy the pre-orders, but it's just like after reviewer after reviewer got a hold of those Super 7 Ultimates and said these are not good, like it might be reactionary.
Wave 2 should have left the factory May 2023 and shipped to customers mid-July. So wave 2 should be shipping around anytime now. The third wave is supposed to be leave in August and ship in October. And then wave 4, which is when they said, okay, fuck it, it's just Optimus Prime and Starscreams. That's supposed to get to customers January 2024, and then the other 2-pack wave they did is actually supposed to come November 2023, so actually earlier than wave 4. So I don't know. It doesn't sound here like they canceled any of them. I feel like if the pre-orders were low enough, some of these would have gotten canned.
Still coming.
Would be my guess.
So that means wave 2 is going to be right on time for Black Friday sales.
If it actually got
out
shipped.
For 4 months, yeah, it starts coming out now, so I might actually pick up a couple of it. Was wave 2 Tarn or was wave 3 Tarn?
3. Wave 2 is Bludgeon, Grimlock, Trax, and
Megatron.
Megatron. There you go.
Yeah, the G2 Megatron also just has personality to it.
He's wave 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're different.
That's the G1
different
Megatron.
ones.
Excellent. Then I'll just wait for wave 3.
I forget who's in wave 3 besides Tarn and Megatron.
It's Alligatorcon, G2, Megatron, Tarn, and Retgar.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to the excitement in the room.
We're going to do a Retgar non-transforming toy right after the greatest Retgar transforming toy ever came out.
What was that? Oh, you mean
Series.
the mainline one. Got it.
Yeah.
Good.
It's a mini masterpiece.
So I don't know, were you anticipating anything else from San Diego Comic-Con?
Do you think we'll get a
oddball
trailer
stuff.
or like some sort of teaser footage of Transformers 1?
For what? Oh,
Transformers
1, the movie film.
Mm-hmm. The cartoon. The first ever Transformers cartoon.
First ever Transformers cartoon movie film.
No, the first
Ever.
ever Transformers cartoon. The
Period.
very Transformers cartoon. It's the first time.
First time.
It's got Scarlet
That'd be
Johansson
nice.
and Chris Helmsworth, who's Thor, and she's Scarlet Witch.
Or what the heck is it called? The game, the first person, the shooter,
Oh yeah,
rebuilt,
forgot about that. Yeah, is that
reformer.
coming out like this fall or later than that?
I think it was supposed to be like this fall, but we haven't heard anything of it in a while.
Right.
I'd like to hear more about it. Like I won't want to play it because I don't like first person shooters, but it's, I don't know, get more games out there. Maybe people will like them.
So,
I think that's about it. Like I was saying, I'm hoping for more oddball stuff. Like I really enjoyed my little oddball non-transforming model kit guys recently. They've been
more
fun to play with.
pops. Peter, you excited to get some
This
pops?
is not a pop.
That Galvatron and Rodimus 2-pack looks pretty neat though. The pops. They're like 80s toy deco.
All
I
the
thought it looked
pops.
I thought it looked really neat when my GameStop had a nice pyramid made of unicorns marked down to like $12. That was pretty neat looking.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little disappointed. Like I used to get these things called Q-Figs, which were little cutesy, kind of guys, and they did not sell well, and I think are canceled. But pops just keep going.
Forever.
That's what happens when you can sell an item at 10,000% markup. You only need to sell 2, and your production run is covered. Just go ahead and keep shitting them out, man.
Oh wow!
And they're just cute and just accessible enough for everyone to find 50 that they love.
It's, they're Pops are modern day Beanie Babies. And there's a toy store that's great here in Tennessee, in Nashville, called Totally Rad Toy House. And they recently moved, and we went and checked it out. And on their banner, like their store sign, it says in big letters, "We do not buy Beanie Babies." like they felt the need that needed to be up on the banner. So
that's awesome.
I mean, to be fair, Pops are way more successful, I feel like, than Beanie Babies.
Definitely.
Like,
Yeah.
Probably lasted a lot longer,
had a pretty decent run, but I mean, Pops have been going forever.
But you have to think, like, Beanie Babies stopped 25 years ago. Like, the rage stopped 25 years ago, and now every grandma that was buying them then has croaked. And now their families are like, what do we do with grandma's 400,000 Beanie Babies? Oh, there's a toy store down the street. It's totally rad. They'll buy our... Oh, wait, no, they won't.
What makes you say that? The fucking sign.
Right?
They should probably put up there, like, will not buy your Power of the Force Star Wars figures or whatever that is as well.
Yep.
Oh.
I think
always gotta have all your toys close. Gotta have your Beanie Babies.
Pops has been way more successful than Beanie Babies were. Beanie Babies were just a splash in the pan. I think the thing with Pops is that a lot of places do deal with gluts of them they can't get rid of, but the profit margins, like jokes aside, are more than good enough to eat all that garbage. And they do the chase variants and stuff where they make a ton of their money back on that. So yeah, you go to a wall of Pops that most people don't care about, but the ones they do care about, they fucking open up for. So I assume that, like, next to all those Ataris in the desert are just a bunch of smashed, cubed up Pops that just keeps getting, like, the factory. Some of them they just take them right from the factory in. They just go right back into the desert.
That's half the garbage island right now. Half the garbage island is Pops. Rob, I just have the mental image of, like, someone walking into that toy store you're talking about with, like, a bunch of Spawn toys, and, like, the owner just pulling out a shotgun, just like, get off my property. Like, just about any.
We don't take nicely to your kind around here.
Just about any toy from the 90s. Like, no, you don't understand. They made quadrillion of these. They are not worth anything. At least the comic books, you can wipe your ass with the paper. Like, this toy, no, this is just going to clog up the environment for centuries.
Yeah. Our bad. Sorry, Earth. Whoops.
So I do want to mention next week, I think we're going to have a show, on Thursday, Phil? Is that right?
Sure.
Friday? I don't know. When are you guys meeting?
Yeah, I think Thursday is the plan. So I think that's the day of the Transformers panel. So we'll be talking about the Transformers panel. I'll be hosting a episode because Lucas, I'll figure out some, zany way of why you're not on the episode next week. So don't tell people why you're really not going to be on. I always like coming up with a reason you're not on, and it never puts you in a good light. Yeah, we'll be doing an episode next week.
That'll be fun. We'll talk about.
I will not be on it. I will be in Mexico.
With
we'll
Lucas
talk about. See? We'll talk about.
We're going to be running some stuff, right? Right, Rob.
It's gonna be Shawshank Redemption style, where like Rob meets you like a year later, just walks up to your little shack on the beach.
Left you that note in a tree. Didn't you get it?
So yeah, so check that out next Thursday night. So should be fun.
I hope so.
So
Could be crap. It's like, oh, we revealed, the studio series, Commander Ultra Magnus. That's it. And it's like, what do we got to talk about? I don't know. One toy. Here we go.
hey, well,
That could be it.
We had no reveals this week, and we went almost 2 hours. So hey.
Yeah, because I mean, let's talk about TFCon. It's exciting. We don't talk about third-party stuff enough anymore.
And this is why we have Rob on, and you on, Anna, and Peter, and Phil, and all you guys can talk about all your third parties, and I can just kind of hang out over here and say, yeah.
My desk is covered in third-party right now.
Third parties is not the animal it used to be, too.
Yeah.
It's not.
So, all right. Well, thank you guys for joining me tonight, and thanks to everyone in the chat. I had several people. I had Ron, Zaldron, Daniel earlier. I think we had a couple of new people. So yeah, and then I guess I don't know if it's
GTR
no
driver.
longer book club. Is that right, Anna? It's Anna's Anime Academy.
People should watch along with book club as we read Super God Master Force. And by that I mean read the subtitles.
Yeah, it counts.
Yeah,
Okay.
book club is watching Super God Master Force. We're on episodes 11 and 12. Anyone who wants to catch up and hang out with us on Sunday night is welcome to. And it's a lot of fun because that's a great series that a lot of people haven't watched.
There you go.
And it's all available completely legitimately on the YouTube. The Omnidub's on YouTube. Go watch the Omnidub. Good stuff.
Well, there you go.
Don't be sober. Just don't be sober.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.